Next on the show, a meeting of two of the Championship's biggest teams, Middlesbrough and Leeds. For under fire Borough boss Gordon Strachan, this also represents a match against the team he won the league with as a player. Your commentator is Martin Fisher.
George McCartney. Here's Johnny Howson. A bold run, not a bad shot either. He's always rising. A sign of his intentions and those of Leeds United to get on the front foot early doors, put pressure on this short of confidence Middlesbrough side. Sommer, Snodgrass, trying to work it onto his left foot. That's a good ball for Sanchez-Watt, faced by Bates. It'll come for Sommer, and it's a goal for Leeds. His 7th of the season. And joy for the 4,000 travelling Leeds supporters. Leeds got a bit lucky with the deflection. Sommer capitalised to full effect. Borough behind early on. Wheater, cleverly done. Bates up from the back as well. Good ball in. Boyd arriving! Borough level. Chris Boyd, the scorer. Lift off at the Riverside. Well, maybe. Boyd's third strike. What a lovely move. And what a clever touch as well. Leeds have got it back, only briefly through Becchio, but the cannon favours Leeds. It's Johnson. Sommer far post, he's picked out Becchio! What a goal! Luciano Becchio restores Leeds' advantage. And what a hammer blow in both senses of the word. It's Luciano Becchio's 5th of the season, his first away from Ellen Road. And it means Leeds are back in front at the Riverside, and the pressure is back on Gordon Strachan. It's Becchio. Becchio all against the bar. First to the rebound is Johnson. And he couldn't help it home. Well, no doubt about it, Leeds are pressing for a third goal here. Great pressurising by Becchio. He scored once. This time the woodwork frustrates him. Leroy Lita. That's a good pass. It's Boyd, and it's not far wide. Took a deflection on its way through. And it's a marvellous challenge from Bradley Johnson. Boos from the Borough fans. More pressure heaped on Gordon Strachan. Will he survive for much longer? Steve Gibson, the chairman, is the man that will decide that. Final score at the Riverside. Middlesbrough 1, Leeds 2.
They're having to take some body blows at the moment. But that's life sometimes, and these things come along and they test you as a player, as a person, as a manager, as a coach. And what doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
We've got belief in the camp that we can always get goals. We've also got to make sure that we know how to kill games off. And probably the last 10 minutes or so we did that because we had good shape about us and got a valuable 3 points tonight.
Sven-Göran Eriksson's time as Fox's boss got off to a dream start at the Walkers Stadium. Just 3 minutes on the clock, and Andy King's effort was too much for Matt Duke in the Hull goal. 1-0 to Leicester, not a great beginning to Nigel Pearson's return. Martin Waghorn could have made it 2 shortly after, but Duke wasn't to be beaten this time. Leicester were chasing back-to-back wins for the first time this season. Bruno Berner almost increased the chances of that becoming a reality. Leicester had conceded 23 goals in 10 championship matches before this one, and conceded another when Robert Corran placed his shot past Chris Wheel to square things up. Buoyed by the goal, Hull went on the offensive. They could have taken the lead, but Caleb Folan couldn't quite provide the finish. Hull continued to press. Wheel had to be at his best to deny Kevin Kilban a winner. Leicester could have sneaked the points late on, but Berner's shot was blocked. 1-1 it finished. Not quite the winning start that Sven would have hoped for. Leicester remain in the bottom 3. There was a minute's applause at Crystal Palace before their South London clash with Millwall in memory of former manager Malcolm Allison, who died on Friday. It was Allison who had changed Palace's nickname from the Glaziers to the Eagles. Wilfried Zaha could have opened the scoring for Palace early on, but the teenager put his shot just wide. Palace had taken just 2 points from their previous 4 matches, and the signs weren't good for them midway through the second half. Theo Robinson, on loan from Huddersfield, kept his composure to put Millwall 1-0 up. It could have been worse for the home side soon after. Julian Speroni able to block Steve Morrison's effort. This wasn't a good afternoon for Palace, and late on Claude Davis was sent off. Not for the challenge, but for that kick on Chris Hackett. Davis couldn't quite believe the decision. At least he only had a short walk to the tunnel. Millwall now unbeaten in 3.
Big performance. Both sides had their chances. I'm pleased to say, you know, we were the one that finished the vital one. It was a terrific finish by Theo Robinson to win the game.
Overall, you know, I thought we worked very hard, dominated most of the game, but you know, lost it to a bad goal, and there were opportunities, numerous opportunities where we should have scored.
Nottingham Forest boss Billy Davies was signed off sick for his team's visit to Oakwell, so David Kelly took charge in his place. Forest had the same modest tally of 13 points from 10 games at this stage last season and went on to make the playoffs. They were behind here though inside 4 minutes. Nathan Doyle with the final touch for the home side. Barnsley were looking for their first win since they thrashed Leeds 5-2 over a month ago, and they were given a boost early in the second half when Goran Lovra was fouled by Dexter Blackstock. Andy Gray scored just once in 4 years as a Forest player, but his penalty put Barnsley 2 up. The visitors hadn't been beaten since the first day of the season, a run of 9 league matches, and they gave themselves a chance to keep that run going, thanks to that goal from Lewis McGugan. But any hopes of a Forest fight back were dashed ruthlessly by the determined Tykes. Substitute Jacob Butterfield with his second goal for the club. Barnsley move above Forest in the table.
A return to the club where he made his name for Doncaster striker Billy Sharp, who scored more than 50 goals in 2 years at Scunthorpe. This was a local derby with much to play for. Both teams were looking for a change in form and fortune after going 4 championship games without a win. The Iron had the advantage after just 11 minutes, thanks to Martin Wolford. Sharp scored for Donny in this fixture last season, and almost inevitably, he was the man who levelled the scores after half an hour. And there was no holding back on the celebrations. Scunthorpe were looking for a first win since Ian Barraclough was given the manager's job on a permanent basis. And they went close to taking the lead again after the break. Chris Dagnall, the frustrated forward. The away end was a sellout, and the Rovers fans who had made the short journey east were given hope just before the hour when Rob Jones made a clumsy challenge on Sharp, who then put another one past his former employers. Rovers 2-1 up. And Doncaster added another when James Coppinger tormented the Scunthorpe defence. His cross was met by James O'Connor, and Doncaster had won their first match in 5. 5 without a win now in the Championship for Scunthorpe.
Derby versus Preston was a meeting of 2 teams who appeared to have found their form, just as they took an enforced 2-week break from competitive football. Derby went into the game unbeaten in 4, and they were ahead in this one when Dean Moxey somehow squeezed the ball past Preston keeper Andy Lonergan. Alberto Bueno has impressed since arriving at Pride Park on loan from Real Valladolid, and the one-time Real Madrid forward added to his growing reputation in the East Midlands when he started and finished the move that put the Rams 2 up before the break. Derby won this fixture 5-3 last season, and they would have the chance to win by a bigger margin this time round when Keith Tracy fouled Russell Anderson. A red card for Tracy and a chance for Robbie Savage to score, on his 600th career appearance 2 days before his 36th birthday. 3-0 the final score.
So Cardiff closed the gap on QPR to 4 points. Swansea's win lifts them 4 places into 4th, while Coventry are up 2 to 7th. 5 games without defeat mean that Derby rise to 13th. Portsmouth continue to move away from the bottom. They're now in 17th place. In League One, Charlton were defending an unbeaten home record when they took on top team Brighton. But the Seagulls took the lead thanks to Inigo Calderon. Gus Poyet's team had let Leeds go to draw their previous 2 matches. But Glenn Murray made the most of some hesitant Charlton defending to put Brighton 2 up. With 9 minutes to go, it was all over. Kazenga Luar is gaining quite a reputation for his shooting ability from long range. And the 3,000 travelling fans had even more to cheer when Matt Sparrow's goal took the scoreline to 4. It's Brighton's biggest away win in over a decade. It's also a victory that keeps Brighton 3 points clear of the top of League One. Peterborough stay second after a late own goal gave them a 5-4 triumph against Swindon. Notts County rise 5 places after a 2-0 success against Plymouth. Brentford won 3-0 at Tranmere to rise above their hosts, who dropped to the bottom. In League Two, bottom club Hereford were at Northampton. The Cobblers' Leon Mackenzie hadn't hit the target for 11 months, but he was back on the scoring trail here midway through the first half. And the son of former world boxing champion Clinton Mackenzie added another when he was quickest to Adam Bartlett's spill. Just before half-time, Mackenzie delivered what looked like the knockout blow when he completed his first hat-trick since 2002. Hereford caretaker boss Jamie Pittman had to make changes, and substitute Stuart Fleetwood made an immediate impact. 11 minutes later, Guillaume Bowser did the hard work, and there was Fleetwood to give the Bulls some hope for an unlikely comeback. Northampton was stunned, and the visitors were at it again. Something special this time from James McQuilkin to make it 3-3. But Hereford didn't stop there. Matthew Mansay didn't need any help as Hereford sealed their first victory since the opening day of the season.
Everything we told them to do in the half-time period, they did the opposite. So, you know, they've got to have a long, hard look at themselves, I think.
Chesterfield won 2-0 at Wickham, while Port Vale could only draw 0-0 with Gillingham. So the Spyrites go to the top of League Two. Hereford's incredible fight back and win wasn't enough to lift them off the bottom of League Two. They remain behind Barnet, who lost to Stockport on goal difference. Our goal of the week comes from that League Two classic. James McQuilkin was the scorer of Hereford's equaliser in their remarkable 4-3 victory at Northampton. Next week on the show, it's a South Yorkshire affair. Doncaster versus Sheffield United. And a meeting of 2 of the relegated teams, Hull and Portsmouth. See you then.